Welcome to Generational Differences with Beckham and Brett. All right, and we are back for our second episode on generational differences. We just got out of the new Captain America movie, Brave New World. What did you think, Beckham?
I was very thrilled, and what I noticed was that the Captain America there was more focused on actual legality. Like the one before, he tried to protect everyone, and he was basically on his own grid. But sometimes he would work with the team. But this guy would he would work with the team all the time. He's working with the president, and he stabs people.
Yeah. Yep. He doesn't have any superpowers, so he has to rely on tools and his own smarts rather than brute strength.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was
probably
good.
why he has a vibranium suit.
Yeah. I liked all the characters. Harrison Ford was good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good transition. Without ruining the movie for everyone, so we're not going to do any spoilers here. So yeah, it was a good movie. As always with the Marvel movies, you want to stay around till the very end to see what the next chapter is gonna, or what the next movie is gonna have in it.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on it?
No, not really, because if we might do some we might reveal too much.
All right. Well, while we were walking up to the movies,
Yeah.
you thought about a topic that you wanted to talk about, shrinkflation. So, did
Yeah.
you want to talk about what that is and why you think it's happening and that sort of thing?
Of course, I would. So basically, shrinkflation is when a company or packaged item, like a food or something, gets smaller, like a charger wire or a bag of chips or a peanut butter can. The dent on the bottom, or the indent, it kind of caved in more. That is supposed to make it so that the company uses less resources for the same amount of money that they were doing before, and doesn't raise the price. So it costs less money to make the product, but it's still the same for the customer, and it's a strategic thing, but it's a devious thing to do.
I don't know if devious is a great word, but yeah, it is. Yeah, so companies will do that. So, well, one, they don't want people to panic about price increases, right? So, grocery stores, yeah. So, to keep people from panicking, what they do is slowly adjust, like to your point, the size of the container doesn't change necessarily. And in the case of peanut butter, it does, but it's still as tall and as wide
And as wide as no.
as the previous version, but to your point, they increase the size of the dent, which then decreases the amount of peanut butter that you get in your that you're paying for. And you don't notice unless you're checking labels. And
Yeah,
oddly
unless
enough, you're not gonna know. You wouldn't know the difference unless you had an old label, and an old an old thing of peanut butter and a new thing of peanut butter.
yeah, unless you're really into stuff.
Right. So, that is, and I don't know if that's why they're using eggs as a benchmark about inflation right now. So, have you been hearing a lot about eggs and the prices of eggs?
No,
So,
you're
the
the one who
prices of
eats
eggs
eggs, Dad.
recently just hit an all-time high. Now, there's other factors that are influencing that right now. There's an egg shortage because of, I think, avian flu that's going on right now.
Oh,
But there are a few items out there like eggs where you can't make the eggs smaller necessarily, right? So your eggs are still going to be the same size. You're still going to have this because you can't make a chicken make a smaller egg. I mean, I suppose you could
genetically
breed
modify the
you could
chicken.
breed them for and select for chickens that make smaller eggs, but it's not the same way that you would be able to say change your packaging or to your point add one or two less chips per package on average.
Hmm.
Yeah, so when the economy is doing bad, so what happens is like say, peanut butter producer. They're publicly traded on the stock market, and they want to, and publicly, like, the thing with companies is they have to show perpetual growth. So they always have to be growing, right? In order for their stockholders to be happy. And that's if they're publicly traded on the stock market.
Yeah.
So when the economy is bad, people have a tendency to buy less things, especially if the price increases. So to that point, well, what they're going to do is they're going to go and sell you less, even though you don't know it, but charge you more. And that's because, and that's not necessarily grocery stores that are doing that. You know, grocery stores are passing the costs on to you, but it's the
Yeah.
producers that are essentially doing that. What were you going to say?
So I was gonna list out some of the brands that have been shrinking,
So
and
before you do that,
yeah,
make sure, have you fact checked those ones or are these hearsay?
fact checked.
So you've gone and what are your sources?
My sources is I think I think like Google.
Okay. Well, Google's not a source. This is actually a really good lesson. So if you're going to say something, um, if you're going to say something that's potentially uh, defamatory towards a company or towards a person, you want to make sure that your news is accurate. So, and you want to make sure your sources are valid. So there are some valid, like if you got your news from the Associated Press, that's going to be a
The
valid news
FD.
source. The FDA would also be a valid news source. Yeah, but saying you found it on Google is not doesn't count. And now when you get into junior high and high school and you start writing papers, then you have to write a thesis. You are going to have to cite your sources when you're trying to prove a point. So we will stay away from naming actual companies on this podcast because we don't want to get in trouble for defaming. But you are correct. That is happening, and it's you know happening because we were in a recession coming out of out of the pandemic. And I don't know, but now the interesting thing will be to see if they permanently decrease the size of peanut butter or chips or whatever, or if they actually go back to normal sizes as the economy improves. My guess is probably not, but we'll see.
This is all I'm gonna say, but there are a lot on the list for
Well,
the examples.
yeah, and like I said, we can come back to it. Let's come full circle after you and I vet the sources, but we should move on
Yeah.
from that. Is there
Oh, it's on
anything?
Bing.
Do you have any other questions about shrinkflation or anything else you want to
Any other
say?
questions about shrinkflation? It's really straight to the point, but if you see shrinkflation happening, you should at least report it online and say of how it is. Like, do a before or after or a TikTok or whatever, because those are the fastest growing medias and the highest amount of where people will see it. So if you see some shrinkflation happening, then report it.
Yeah, you could do that. You could go to a news media outlet and take the picture of your old peanut butter, take the picture of your new peanut butter, and report that to someone so that they can pass that information along to others.
Or your Pokemon card pack.
What is do the packs?
No, I
Well,
wouldn't know because I don't know if they do or didn't have shrinkflation
yeah, I don't
happening
think
anywhere.
that doesn't really count. It's mostly around food items. I don't think.
Around food items, but you can still get a lower amount. Like, say there were 7 and then now there's
Yeah,
6.
I don't think Pokemon's a good example. Again, let's stay away from brand names.
Yeah,
Okay, so shrinkflation. Anything else to say on that? Yeah, we have been experiencing that after the pandemic. It's a thing. I'm glad
yeah,
that you know about that and that was something that you wanted to talk.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick break after this piece of it, and we'll come back for our next topic, which we're going to dive into books that we're currently reading, books that we have read, and books that we are excited to read.
Okay, we are having a break.
All right, and we are back to talk about books. So, Beckham, what books are you reading today? And let's talk about so Dog Man. We just went and saw that movie, which tell us a little bit more about that. Yeah, and you really like that series. You've got all the whole series, right? How many books are there in that series? You lost count. Well, I know your grandmother was buying you them for like every birthday and everything there ever was. Well, yeah, we went and saw that movie. I think that Captain America was a much better movie. I gotta say, like, I did not like Dogman. Dogman was actually out of all the movies we've gone and seen and we've sat through, that was the worst. It was hands down. I couldn't sit through it. Like I got so bored in that movie. I don't know what it was about the movie. I don't know if it was the storyline. It
Quick. It was just quick.
wasn't quick. It felt like it was a slog. It was a it felt like I like The Wild Robot. You read that book.
Oh
That
yeah, it
was
was great.
that was a great book. It was a great movie. It was really well done. Let's see, what other movies did we go see that were books that you've read? We gone and you and you said that like yeah, I don't know what it was about Dogman because you went and saw the play too in San Francisco, and you said the play was good, right?
Good.
You want to talk about the play a little bit more?
The play was just two books combined into one, and it basically was just Chief was also George, which was the writer in the book, which isn't actually the writer. It's just the child in the story that's writing the book, but actually isn't the writer because the writer's in this world, and it's very complicated. And basically, so George and Harold both played as a lot of other characters in the movie. So it was a mix of like three, I'd say. Yeah, three basically books combined into one play. And that's all basically. If you basically it's Dogman Unleashed, and then A Tale of Two Kitties, Dogman. So
Yeah, so it sounded like that was like way better than the movie. I wish I would have gone and seen that with you rather than going to see the movie. The movie just was like not great at all. It
yeah,
was
no.
pretty much I couldn't do it for sure. Um yeah. So and then you read Captain Underpants, although I haven't seen a lot of those around, but really you like Bad Guys. What else are you
And
actively reading right now?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid or Mysterious or I Survive.
Yeah, you've been really into the I Survive books lately, huh?
Yeah, so I Survived is basically like if it's a historical fiction, so they like take tragedies or stuff, like say Mount St. Helens. Hey dad, that's your birth volcano. Basically it'll take characters that aren't real and then match it up into the time of St. Helens and make an entire story about it.
So, like, that one Christmas when Tickle Me Elmo was
Yeah.
available, and then on Black
Yeah.
Friday, everybody had to run to the stores to get Tickle Me Elmos and fight each other. That's like historical events like that.
Basically, but like they are natural disasters or even like disasters caused by humans like the Nazi invasion or D-Day or the battle in Gettysburg, the American Revolution, that stuff.
That's exciting. So what else anything else that you're reading?
No.
Yeah, I'm reading, I've been reading a couple of books lately. I got a really good book recommendation. So I do meditation in the morning, and one of the individuals on the Headspace app that I like to use had suggested um, a book on Frida, the Latin American artist. So she's
Didn't she, like, create self-portraits of herself and she got really crippled and she had to be in bed?
She did. Yeah, it's actually the book is called What Would Frida Do? A Guide for Living Boldly by Ariana Davis. Yeah, it's a really good book. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. When Frida was a teenager, she may have never even gotten into painting if it weren't for her accident. So she got in a bus accident and was impaled
And
by a
her leg
pole.
got pierced by a pole, yeah.
Yep. So while she was laying in bed
Just
and
started creating
and recovering, yeah, she started to paint. And she painted a little bit before, but I think she was gonna go to school for She was going to school for something other than art altogether. And so this completely like changed her direction. And so from then on, she painted. But throughout her whole life, because of that injury, and then she was born with polio,
Yeah.
she had to like she constantly was in pain and every day had to wear like corsets and all this stuff, but was able to. It's a really good story about persevering and overcoming major setbacks in your life
Or pains.
and pains, like waking up every day in pain, but still having, like, still being able to create, still having, you know, sh- she ended up being a model for women everywhere, and her story is actually super inspiring. So, yeah, it's been a really good book. Yeah.
So I just wanna say, she also made one painting of a giant cornucopia with a hole, and the hole was in her mouth, so it's like a funnel of food because she couldn't eat anything because she was so ill, so they forced her to feed it, and she was disgusted by that, so she made a drawing of her disgust, and it was really bad.
Yeah, she did. She painted a lot of things that were somewhat macabre, and were kind of that were centered around death or were, um, very much with her own mortality. And that's because she had so many surgeries and she had so many brushes with death that a lot of her paintings reflected that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a really good book. I mean, I think for anybody who's going through a tough time, it's inspiring to read her book and kind of seeing all the challenges she overcame to create these amazing works of art. So that's what I'm currently reading. One of the books that I read in the last year that I really enjoyed was called The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. And it's also about artists. So Rick Rubin is like a really famous producer, but this book was a lot of musings on like spirituality, actually. And, whether you believe in God or a higher power or the universe or whatever, allowing that spirituality to flow through you to create art and allowing the creative process to kind of like move through you. That was a really good book, too. I actually read that book twice. It was a really good read. I know. I know. Unfortunately, neither of those. Well, Frida was made into a movie. I think back in the '90s. I think Selma Hayek is the actress. I'm gonna get corrected on that. Somebody's gonna listen to this and be like, "No, that's wrong. It's the worst." But yeah, those are what I'm reading. And then also, I read *The Sun Also Rises* by Hemingway. Also, a really good book on just people that came back from war and like had PTSD and kind of how they dealt with it. So it's a it's a classic. It's a good one also. And then my next book I have teed up is The Nickel Boys. The Nickel Boys.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. So, what about you? What's your next book that you're excited for?
well, I'm not really waiting for any book actually right now, so I'm not excited for anything.
I know you were starting the Mysterious Benedict Society, right?
Mhm.
How's that?
It's great. It's going great. Haven't
That's
I
not
haven't
very convincing. You're like, yeah, it, it's a, it's fine. It's a good book.
Yeah, no. I just when I was reading it, I just couldn't I got like so bored at the start and I couldn't like understand anything with my thick head that I just couldn't have gotten anything through. Like, why is this kid scribble writing?
Are there any? So So is scribble writing, are there
Yeah.
any chapter books? We talked a lot. I think you've been doing a lot of kids graphic novels, The Bad Guys, Captain Underpants, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dogman. Are there any like non-graphic novels that you are excited to get into and read about?
Well, I did read this one book, and it was about the bombing of Pearl Harbor of these two boys who basically saved two guys and became heroes, but one of the kids were Japanese, so they faced harsh things. And at the end, they had this idea to create a book. It's called The Arsenal of Democracy. And it's basically a Japanese person who finds magical crystals, finds powers, can get super big, and basically do all these amazing feats.
That's cool. What was it called?
Arsenal of Democracy.
When did you read that one? I don't remember seeing that at all.
Heroes, that was one at school from the library. It's a pretty big book.
Like,
I also read Ground Zero, which is basically like 9/11, and a kid was in the 9/11, like literally in the building. And then all of a sudden, the building came crashing down, but luckily he survived it. But he had to trudge out of it half alive. So,
exciting. So you really getting into the survival stories.
yeah,
Alrighty. Well, book reviews are over, and at that, we're coming up on another break here. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back for our next section.
yeah.
And we're back to talk about video games.
Games and of our experiences with video games.
Yep, and new games that we're excited for to come.
Yeah, and our experiences that we've had over the years.
So what are you excited for that's coming out?
I'm probably excited for maybe a new Minecraft update, cuz they take forever to load a new game. Like seriously, like you need to start up, you need to
Remember how
snap.
angry you got when they kept pushing back bringing out the warden? You were
Yeah,
like
I got
freaking out
so
about it for
mad.
like a year.
First it was 1.17, then 1.18, and I was like, seriously, just add it now. And it's like the wild update, and it's like, you're serious? I'm gonna have to wait till the next one.
I hate to break it to you, that's kind of what software companies do. They're like Q2 of next year, and that means like, and then they keep pushing the date out, and everyone's like, "What the heck? You said this was coming." Remember, you'd
So
have
it's
like massive meltdowns. You're like, "The warden was supposed to be in this version, and it's not here yet."
I was like 1.17. Yay, it's wait. This is only part 1. Okay then, it's going to be what?
You were
No,
not
it's
that
in
chill. You were like,
1.19, which is the next one.
you were losing your cheese
It's
over it.
caves and cliffs, and this is a cave biome. They just added in spaghetti and meatball caves. Like seriously, they call some caves spaghetti caves.
Why do they call them spaghetti caves? I don't
Well,
know
because
anything
of
about
how they
this.
are. They're kind of like thin, but they're wavy, and they go up and down like noodly. Like they're all wavy and stuff, and they go all around the place. That's why they're called spaghetti caves.
Man, I could never get it. Well, I got into Minecraft with you, but I never like got into all the stuff that you were doing. I was like Minecraft. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm just gonna drop
Mine.
down into the mine and go look for diamonds. And I would like strip mine while you were off doing what?
Remember I just remember a Minecraft ad and you're like when I was a child I yearned for the mines because you only spend your time in the mine. And one time I somehow got a 16 vein diamond. I don't know how I got it, but it was like a vein of 16 diamonds, so I got it, and you were just like, there's no way. And it's like, these are the only diamonds I had in my inventory because I took a snapshot before and after. And you looked at it, and it's like, wait, you just got 16 diamonds and one.
I don't know, because I always get like one or two bait in my. I don't know. I was
You
like,
got so mad.
yeah, because
You're
I
like, that's
literally
it,
would
I
mine
quit.
all day long, and you like go down there and find a whole bunch of it.
I go down there once and I find an 18 diamond mine. You can
Yeah,
actually.
no. Minecraft, I just couldn't get into it. And then I had to get rid of the first person shooters. Like I had to I rage quit Call of Duty.
Yeah, you rage quit.
I think I
Remember
rage quit it after Black Ops 2. I just was no good at it. And the worst part about it was like I was never fast enough on the trigger. I didn't have a hair trigger. That game, like learning that game, especially when you get older and like you're not as quick on your reflexes.
I have a hair trigger for Halo on one of the things.
I know
It's
you
like a
do.
one shot, one kill thing,
We
and
tried to, I stopped playing Halo with you because I realized that like I was being bested by a fourth grader. And then I kind of like had to reconsider all my life choices at that point. I was like, I'm pretty sure this was happening all along when I was playing Call of Duty. There was probably just fourth graders out there like acing me left and right. And I just was getting like so pissed about the whole thing. It was the worst. It's like, especially when you're learning a new map. Like if you didn't start playing the game the first day, you were dead. So you walk onto these maps and it's like some jerk would like figure out a way to like shoot through a car window that went through a building window that like you just happen to be walking by and like you go running by. I don't even know how they did it because you'd be in the full run and they would somehow shoot you through like three windows and like just drop you. And it was like, and then you would get, and then you'd respawn and they'd know the spawn points. So then you go run another direction and you get hit there. It's just like,
you just gotta change up where you go, Dad.
oh, I did. I was just bad at the game. I didn't realize I was bad either. And then I get mad and I throw controllers and break them and like I had to rage quit that one.
Remember
Yeah.
when you threw that controller at the TV? I wasn't here, but you threw the controller at the TV and it like, and it
Nobody
like
was
got
here.
stuck.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself now. Yeah. That was 20 years ago and I should have quit then. But then I proceeded to play Call of Duty for like another 10 years. Although I
Any
didn't
more
throw controllers.
controllers at the TV?
Yeah, that was that.
I just remember at Destiny when we first played it, you were like, "Oh yeah, I got these level 2000 stuff," and it's like that's the stuff I started with, and they're really good, and it's like, and I was like, "That's what I started at," and it's like, and I was like, "That's what I'm at," and it's like, and you're like, "I took
That
years of grinding for this."
That was also disappointing. You're right. I grinded for like those legendary like guns for years. I actually couldn't start Destiny 2 again because they reset all my numbers. I'm like I had these guns were all maxed out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get back into this. I'm gonna be super awesome at it. And I get in there and then they nerfed everything. All my gear was nerfed and they'd reset it. I was like,
They nerfed it down to starter weapon.
see, this is why I can't play games anymore. Like I just like I'm done with video games. And they've gotten so complicated. I have to say, like, video games and RPGs like hit their like Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 3 for the Super Nintendo and Final Fantasy 7, in my opinion, are like some of the best games where it hit its pinnacle. I went and tried to
Yeah.
play the new Final Fantasy. I, the game has like screen diarrhea going on.
I
Like
get
there's
screen
so much
diary.
crap on the screen. Like there's like a map over here, and then there's another mini map over here, and there's some chat going on over here, and then you have to push 8 buttons just to get to like the thing that you want to get to, and then the missions, right? So like I think I played the game for an hour. First of all, I had to figure out the controls, which I had no idea what I was doing, and then and then and then it's like I figure the controls out sort of, and then for the first like 2 hours, I'm just going around talking to people in this city. I'm like, this is when do I actually get to kill something? 2 hours later, I went out and like got to kill like a bumblebee or some crap like that. It was like stupid. It was like, oh, cool. I'm out here slashing bees. And all the missions take forever. You've got to like run for forever to get to where you're going. It's like I can't do it. They've made them way too complicated. Games have gotten so complicated. Destiny wasn't complicated, but Final Fantasy is like near I can't do it. There's too much going on, man. It's like I said, it's like screen diarrhea. There's just like stuff crap popping up all over the place.
Like this.
It's the worst. I do so then I went for Diablo. Diablo 4. That I could get into. This is easy.
Yeah, you like necromancer.
So and then I can have just a bunch of minions go out and like kill stuff for me.
Like this.
But yeah, I can't get into games anymore. I struggle with it. Even Diablo 4, which is easy, which is like just button mashing. I do it for like an hour and I'm like, all right, I'm over this. I need to go read a book or do something productive. But
Yeah.
I can still ace you in Mario Kart.
You're never gonna do it. You're never gonna do it.
What about you? What do you I just went on a rant about how games suck. And I will never play Call of Duty again because I don't want to get killed by.
Wanna try me? I'll beat you in Call of Duty.
It's worse. It's the worst. It's like there used to be that TV show. I don't think you even remember when you were a kid, but it's like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? It's like, can you get owned by a fourth grader? It's like, well, yeah, I can, like all day long. And then then I destroy controllers over it because, and that's the worst part. They have mics too, so then you've got this like high pitched little kid going like, it's just like, great. Well, that's cool. You know, where's your mom at? Did she hear you talking like this? And they've always got some ridiculous name like Banana Hammock 69.
I know that.
Where are your parents at?
Like there's this game called Rounds, and you can modify or edit like any character. So you can make like your character have like one of the mouths, you have your tongue sticking out. You can move that to the bottom of where your character
Yeah, you were
should
telling.
of where it should have its crotch, and then make it have.
Okay, that's enough. We're gonna get out of the gutter.
Yeah.
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
So, what game are you excited for that's coming up?
What I'm excited for, I think I already told you, Minecraft.
There's not a new Mine, but well, just Minecraft updates, right? But there's other games out there that you want to play.
I mean,
Anything good on Steam lately?
no, nothing. You know, one of the best games to play if you like idle games that you spend your entire life on, Leaf Blower Revolution.
I
You
know I've
can
seen
spend
that.
an entire week trying just to get to one part and then saying you need to reset to get these special coins to traverse farther into the game. And it's like, no, I have to do this all over again. And you're like, this is bull crap. I actually rage quit that game. It's just like, ha, now you have unlocked the gold leaf. Now you have locked the platinum leaf, bismuth leaf, cosmic leaf, void leaf. I'm not even gonna
I've
list all
watched
the
you play
leaves.
that one. That one actually looks a little bit cathartic. Like if you're just like you want to just zone out and not have to like think about anything, go blow leaves on a screen all day.
Yeah.
Like you had a stressful day at work, go take the leaf blower out and blow your yard out. Just like good, I can upgrade to like the black hole blower that does whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That
also an
one.
idle game to
Yeah.
like get leaves when you're offline.
What about Roblox? Any new like mini games or Roblox you've been into?
Bowbox? No, it's not good. I think I quit after I got smoked by another person named Banana Hammock.
You can get smoked.
And like Rivals or something. It's a game called Rivals, and I got smoked because this guy pays Robux to get this gun or sniper rifle that does 999 damage, and it's a full kill, like it's 100% kill chance, and it's an explosive rifle, and I get owned.
Yeah, so you stopped playing Roblox because of that. But Roblox has a bunch of different like games though, right? Mini
Yeah,
games.
but it's kind of annoying to because the RNG games just suck you in. Like it's just this game random roll
Pay to
number.
play random roll game.
Yeah, random rolling game of where it's like 1 in 999 million, and it's like, and somebody gets it, and then while you're rolling one and twos, and you're like, every time I get so mad at it, it's like I want to be on that leaderboard, and I did get it once. I was doing an Anime Fighter RNG card game, and I got like this 1 in 2.2 million billion trillion gazillion blah 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 whatever, and I got in the leaderboard. And I finally did it in one of them stupid RNG games, and then 10 seconds later, boom, somebody just gets like a billion more than me.
Good times, good times. All right, we're getting to the end of our session here, Beckham. So I think it's about time. We're gonna end this podcast. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Beckham, will you read us out?
Today's show was produced by Beckham and Brett. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Please subscribe to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. Reach out with any questions, comments, or potential topics. We will respond. Have a great week.